Hello, welcome back to my channel. And today is a very special video because today we're going to talk about a topic not I don't very often talk about on this channel. So yeah, it's about me living in Mumbai, India versus me living now in the Netherlands. So let's get started. So I have thought about this so many times, but I was not getting like enough material or enough. I didn't have really kind of a value addition, but I don't even know if there is. You would find some kind of value addition in this conversation as well. But I felt like this part, what I'm going to share with you is something that I really felt it could resonate with a lot of you guys because. Um, as a woman and as somebody who was born in India, raised in India, and then decided to move across, continents. I felt like, and being a mom here, and just having a life here is so different. I love where I come from, and I can only have so much love, nostalgia, so much of friendship, family, and just pure love for the land, right? And similarly, just the complete opposite of like moving to a different continent where you don't speak the language, where the culture is different. And a lot of people ask me, like, do you experience culture shock? Culture shock. I'm going to come to that in a bit. But it just finding a second home is made believe like it's such a difficult thing. Of course it is difficult. I mean, difficult in the sense that it has its own challenges, but I also think that it is the most beautiful metamorphosis. And if you have the strength for it, and if you have the will for it, and if you can stick with that, I think it's the most amazing kind of metamorphosis that, yeah, it's a journey that you can be on. It's very gutsy, it's very challenging, mentally and physically, but also it is a very rewarding experience. Of course, you don't have to do that. Not everybody wants to do that or should do that, but if you want to, and if this video is particularly, not particularly, actually it's for everybody, whether you are moving continents, whether you are, I don't know, taking that big leap in your career, taking, going from high school to college. So it's just kind of sharing a piece of my life with you, that how I felt, and you can, pull some strings that resonate with you guys. So yeah, of course, when I first came here, a lot of people ask me, "Oh my God, you're from India. Are they so? Was it a culture shock?" Yes, it is a culture shock. Uh, I come from Mumbai, which is fairly such a metropolitan, cosmopolitan, such a big city, and yet when I came to the Netherlands, the moment, I still remember the moment I landed in Amsterdam, I felt I could breathe. I mean, I'm not. This video is not to like uh, put down my country. I or in any way, please try to, let's try to stay positive here. But I did feel, as a woman and as a young woman traveling alone on the other part of the world, um, I have felt very insecure, and I have felt very intimidated to travel within the country when I was in India. Having said that, taking that leap here, I have to say I did not feel that difficult. And a lot of people say brave, courageous, and that is not for traveling alone as a woman, as a girl, but it's more so that it's a very brave decision. People keep telling me that it's a very courageous decision, but looking back, I think it was just such a whim. It was just a whim of a decision that I took. Today I'm 30. I will be 31 in November 2024. But back then I had just turned 26, and I think 26 or 27, I think. I was like 4 years ago, 26, yeah. And back then I would think it was such just a decision I took without any calculations. Uh, yeah, I mean, your youth is the bravery of youth, the courage of youth is, I mean, yes, I'm still young, but you know what I mean? Like those decisions, sometimes you just gotta take it and you gotta like you're like, okay, now I'm on this path. I just gotta, cross this bridge, and you have to figure it out on your own. So whether it is traveling alone, whether it is making your own decisions, I mean, going on a holiday for 6 months, 8 months, or like, I don't know, for a year, um, to a different country is different than completely moving, because you still know in the back of your head that if everything goes to shit, you still are going to go back home. But moving to a different continent and thinking, or a different country for per se, is that you got to stick it out, right? Because there's no way backward. Of course, you can always go back home, you don't have to stick it out. But what for me, I was fully prepared. I was mentally prepared that I'm going to start afresh. And that is what I decided at 26, because I had an amazing career, I had an amazing life, I had the best job. I was so, so comfortable. And I was 26 and I was like, oh my God, is this the rest of my life? And the answer was no. I wanted to put myself into a challenge, challenge myself, put into an uncomfortable situation. It was really, really hard. But today I'm very, very proud of myself, at least a little bit, that here I am, 4 years later, I have a home here, I'm, I have a family here, and yeah, I just love that this was in store for me. And if I wouldn't have taken that leap of faith, life would have probably looked very, very different, I was in a very different mental phase when I was there and during the pandemic, and to what I am now. I could have never probably, yeah, comprehended that this could be my life. um yeah, it was just different. There's no good and bad here, but it was just so, so different. And yeah, I took that bold decision, and people tell courageous. And sometimes I had my moments where I was thinking, oh my God, this is the most stupid decision of my life. Why did I do this? Why did I leave my comfort? Because when you come to a different land where English is not the first language, of course, in the Netherlands, Dutch is. So the moment you land and you're thinking, oh my God, all the signboards are in Dutch and you don't understand about it. Um, and then you're like, wow, this is going to be a journey. And I have to say that uh, it did not teach me just academically, but I taught, and I it upskilled me as a person, as so many other things that were added to my personality. I think back then, something I was really struggling with was my temperament. And I think that really, yeah, I was really very volatile in nature sometimes. And I think somehow, I don't know if it's the Dutch culture, if it's the weather that it rains all the time, that you just learn to be so much more patient. But patience has come in, and just positivity overall, that exuberance of positivity. I don't know how. I mean, I know how, but it is something that I was on a journey already, and that was a very conscious decision. Whether it is reading, whether it is learning, whether it is meeting new people, talking, and I've always envisioned my life that these are the milestones. If I was probably back in Bombay, I would have done life very, very differently, or probably I would have done exactly the way I have done it right now. But I have to say that there were certain milestones in my life that I wanted to achieve my way. For example, like a marriage was not like a solid. It wasn't a milestone for me. It was something that I wanted companionship, and I wanted to have a family. So I wanted to be with somebody who I can trust enough to have that next step. And that is exactly I found. And so that is something those are the things I would have probably done differently. And not differently, sorry, those were always in the back of my mind. And I think this land just gave me the freedom to do things exactly what I wanted. And I'm so, so happy that hopefully someday when I'm a grandma, that they will be like, oh my God, my grandma was like really cool and amazing. So yeah, I think we're raising a mixed family. We're raising Indian Dutch family, and these are the conversations. Whether it is about world, whether it is about where I come from, where his father comes from, we talk about all these things in the house. We talk about equality. We talk about feminism. We talk about, I don't know, like gender. We talk about oppression, we talk about world issues. Because I think even growing up when I was in India, those are the conversation I engaged a lot with my family. And I am a person who is very, very headstrong and with a very bold opinion. So I kind of, yeah, I was very frivolous, frivolous. And I think growing up, I think my parents or my father was a very different man. I think he kind of raised us very differently than a conventional, um, you know, girls are raised per se. Because you're not allowed to opine so loudly. You're not allowed to, have a strong opinion. You're not allowed to have an opinion sometimes, let alone a very strong and a bold one. But I think those conversations and kind of my schooling, my college, my surroundings was very different than the people around me. I think I was very, very privileged in that sense, I have to say. And that kind of shaped me into having my own choices. And I don't think I can, because I have seen women being oppressed very, very closely, whether it is in my family or whether it is, close relationships. Um, that was something that was just unacceptable for me. And that is why I think I was very, very sure that no matter what, I need to be with a person who treats me very equal, you know? Like, I think in an interview I saw somewhere that, whether you are married to somebody, whether you have a child, it is important that no one person's path is, disrupted, whether it is career, whether it is, yeah, anything you do, whether you're working, whether you're painting, anything. So I think that is something I strived for, and I feel I have made such an amazing decision with being this person who has exactly the same value system as me. And it was never a conversation, it was never a discussion where after being a mother or after during my pregnancy or after that there was a conversation thinking that, oh my god, now you take care of the baby, or I will do this, I will do that. That was not even like, yeah, it was just so not visceral. It was just like assumed that we're gonna treat each other as equals. um, and I think that is something that has stayed with me and us, and that is what makes me so complacent. Yeah. So yeah, speaking about, those were the things that I think I wanted to talk about largely. And I think in the following video, I think I would really like to talk about uh, being in a Indo-Dutch relationship and being, raising a family that's Indo-Dutch. I think it's very, very cool to, and living here, not just about my relationship, but I think I don't want to include my partner and, my child into this part of my life. Maybe it happens in the future, but right now I don't want to share them with the internet. But what I really want to share is that having lived here, I think there's such amazing cliches or just understanding of people that I want to really share. Is the cultural differences, the nuances, and what we find funny and amusing, and what we want to absorb and keep, and always trying to find that middle ground, which makes it life just so much more nicer. And cultural differences need not be, um, you know. Yeah, just like negative. I think there are such cute aspects to that which we kind of try to and really love and hold on to. And that is something I would like to share, because I think today in the world, I see, especially more so now, I've always sensed this feeling, but more so now that I have a child, that I really want to leave a better legacy in this world and love behind, because I think the world really needs to calm down. Uh, and we need more love in this world. I think we need more tolerance. We need less oppression, and just more of acceptance of people and different people. And I think whether it is your gender, whether it is your ethnicity, where you come from, whether it's your nationality, whether it's your religion, I think it is important to bring back tolerance. And I think that's my effort, more so to leave a better world behind for my children. Maybe a selfish thought, but that's where I'm at. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and somebody who would like this and like to talk here and build this community. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.